How's it going, everyone? Chris here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Generation 8 leak discussion video. In today's video, we are actually going to be taking a look at a leak that claims to know everything about Generation 8, including the brand new region, starter Pokemon, and other brand new information. However, as always, and I cannot stress this enough, we have no idea if this leak is true or not, so make sure you guys take it with a grain of salt and realize that I'm talking about this just for fun. If you'd like to read along while I talk, you find a link to the original post in the description right down below. And now, with all that out of the way, I have to tell you guys where this leak came from. So guys, this leak was sent in to me by one of my subscribers on my Discord server, so if you guys haven't already joined up, I highly recommend you do so. As of now, we have over 3,300 members always talking about Pokemon, as well as everything Nintendo, including Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You guys can find a link to my Discord server in both the description as well as the pinned comment, and it is 100% free to join, so I hope to see you there. Not only that, guys, but for those of you guys who play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, once we hit 20,000 subscribers, we are going to be doing another Lax Chris official Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament, in which I give away a gift card to the winner of the tournament, and the only way that you guys can enter that is if you are subscribed to the channel and you are also a member of the Discord server. And now, guys, with all that out of the way, the leak that we are going to be taking a look at today comes from bulbagarden.net, and it is a text post leak, so if you guys want to leave, go ahead and do so now, otherwise we are going to jump right into the newest leak. So guys, like I said, this leak comes from Bulbagarden, and it is titled Reginos Region Leak, and it is posted by Anonymous. It starts by saying, Region Reginos, island based on Great Britain. The region will be split into 4 shires and follow the trial system like Alola, and also have 4 traditional gyms. Leaders of each shire will be called lords. Expect a city based on London, castles, palaces, Stonehenge, and Hadrian's Wall. Post-game has an underwater tunnel that leads to its French counterpart. The villain team is Team Majestic. Their goal is to capture powerful Pokemon to use as weapons to take over the world. They will attempt to capture all 4 legendary Pokemon to summon the secret 5th legendary. The legendary Pokemon each live in a shire and is regarded as symbols of the classic elements: air, earth, fire, and water. Scottish Shire, the legendary water type based on the Loch Ness Monster, symbol of the classic water element. After that, we have the North Irish Shire, the legendary ground-type giant inspired by Giant's Causeway myth, symbol of the classic earth element. After that, we have the Welsh Shire, legendary flying type based on a wyvern, symbol of the classic air element. And finally, we have the English Shire, the legendary fire type based on St. George's Dragon, symbol of the classic fire element. The 5th legendary and box art for both games will be a winged dual-typed unicorn. One game has attack form, which is going to be Ghost and Dark, and one game has a defense form, which is going to be Psychic and Fairy. One form makes it white, while the other form makes it black. It is the symbol of the classic ether element, Void in Japanese. You will be able to crossbreed Mew and Mewtwo to hatch a Mew 3 in the daycare center. The exclusive feature for this game will be Super Stones. This is one stone that permanently evolves a Pokemon's type and gives it 4 new moves. Only a select handful of Pokemon can evolve type, and they will be known as Super Pokemon. So we're not going to go over every single Pokemon that can become a Super Pokemon, however, let's go over a couple of them. We have Pikachu, which turns into a Fairy type, Hitmonlee, which turns into a Dark type, Kabutops, that turns into a Ground type, Weavile, that turns into a Psychic type, Ho-Oh, that turns into a Flying type, and Lugia, that turns into a Water type. Next up, we have the second part of this leak, which actually comes from a different leaker. The Super Stones translation was misinterpreted. These stones temporarily change the typing of a handful of Super Pokemon in battle. When a stone is used, these special Pokemon temporarily have 3 typings in battle and 3 secret moves unlocked, which replace their normal 4 moves. 1 move of each type. They also get surrounded by an aura that changes color depending on the type of the move selected. Triple type combinations that will be available are, once again, we're not going to go over every single thing, but we are going to go over a couple. We have Pikachu, that's going to be Electric, Fairy, and Dark. Charizard, which is going to be Fire, Dragon, and Flying, Gengar, which is going to be Ghost, Dark, Psychic, Gyarados, which is going to be Water, Dragon, Dark, Flygon, which is going to be Bug, Dragon, Flying, Zangoose, which is going to be Fighting, Ice, and Normal, Ho-Oh, which is going to be Psychic, Flying, Ghost, Lugia, which is going to be Psychic, Flying, Water, Mew, which is going to be Psychic, Fairy, Normal, and Mewtwo, which is going to be Psychic, Fairy, Dark. So guys, now we are going to take a look at part 3 of this leak, which was once again posted by another leaker. I am the person who gave the original Generation 7 Chinese leaks and new Generation 8 leaks. Gen 8 leaks were originally on Tumblr, and fans have been adding their own ideas which are not true. Super Pokemon, Mew 3, and triple types are not real. The image attached is all the correct details for Generation 8. I've cropped the post circulating to the correct info, although this is the information in bullet points. Generation 7 will be shorter than previous games, and that's why you can expect a quick follow-up of Generation 8. There are no Megas in Gen 7, Mega Evolutions have been saved for Generation 8 as the region will attach to Kalos. The best news I can give you is the remaining starter Pokemon will all get Mega Evolutions except for Generation 7 in the Gen 8 games. Greninja starts using his tongue as a slingshot with its hands and slings water balls. Next up, Feraligatr will gain Dark type, Meganium will gain Fairy type, Typhlosion will get Ground, and Polion replaces Steel with Ice, and Serperior gains Poison. There will be no other new Megas. There will be 2 generations of starters exclusive to each Gen 8 game, 2 and 4 starters, and 5 and 6 starters respectively. So guys, now that we've gone over the entire leak, let's talk about it a little bit. So guys, the first thing that I want to talk about is the overall leak itself, because I do understand that it's a little bit confusing. Basically, in part 1, someone posted all that information. In part 2, a different person tried to correct him, and in part 3, that was the last thing we heard about this leak, and it came from apparently the guy who leaked Incineroar, Decidueye, and Primarina during the Gen 7 days. So right away guys, if it actually is that person, then I definitely do believe that they have credibility, but as of now we cannot be 100% sure. So first of all guys, let's go ahead and talk about the legendaries and the region that could be happening in this game. So first of all guys, let me just say I would love it if this leak ended up being true, because a lot of it sounds extremely awesome. First of all, I think that the region it takes place in would be amazing to go around and explore, especially because of the legendary Pokemon. I have been saying for a while now that I would love to see a couple of Pokemon that were based off of air, fire, water, and earth, and I think that having them as legendary Pokemon would be amazing, especially if you got all 4 of them together and then you ended up catching the 5th legendary Pokemon. Personally, I'm kind of getting an Avatar The Last Airbender vibe, where you have all of the different benders, you have the fire benders, air benders, etc. And then you have the avatars like the master of all 4 elements, which would be like the unicorn. I don't know, I just thought that's kind of what it made me think of, so if it did end up being true, I love Avatar The Last Airbender, so I'd be very happy with it. Another part of this leak that I'd be very happy about is that we would get both Shires, which are basically like trials in Pokemon Sun and Moon, as well as gym battles. Getting half and half is definitely the best of both worlds, because for those of us who have been playing Pokemon ever since Generation 1, it'll definitely be a great return to form if we do end up getting gym battles back. And for those people who started playing Pokemon during Sun and Moon and who've just experienced trials, I think it's a great way to introduce them to gym battles. Overall, I could not be happier with this format, so once again, I definitely hope this ends up being true. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about Super Stones. Now, apparently Super Stones are these stones that originally we thought would evolve a Pokemon into a different type, but instead, it seems like they only activate during battle, and they only temporarily have this. So, the first part of the leak, that is where it was said that it would permanently evolve them, and in the second part of the leak, they correct them and say that it just happens during the battle. And personally, that sounds very similar to Mega Evolution. Like, that sounds extremely similar. So, I'm not sure if Pokemon is going to end up reusing this mechanic, just because I don't think that they're going to want to when they already have Mega Evolution. However, since this region is supposedly connected to Kalos in some way, if they did do something like this, I guess it would make sense to have both Super Stones as well as Mega Evolution, and just tie them into the Great Pokemon War somehow. I think that's the only way I could see that happening, but once again, I'm not sure if they're going to include super stones like that. And finally guys, let's go ahead and talk about part 3 of this leak. So apparently the person who wrote all of this new information for part 3 is the person who originally leaked Incineroar, Primarina, and Decidueye. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, on screen right now you will be able to see the concept art for all of these characters which were leaked and then ended up being true. So if this actually is the same guy who posted all this information, then I definitely think that he has credibility. Now, one of the claims he makes is that Gen 7 was going to be shorter so that they would have a quicker turnaround time for Generation 8. Now, the Switch was already out when Pokemon Sun and Moon, or at least it was in development when Pokemon Sun and Moon were made, so if Nintendo came to Game Freak and they were like, look, we need you to make a big HD Pokemon game to release on the Nintendo Switch, it does make sense that they would kind of push the 3DS games off to the side, so that way they could start working on the Nintendo Switch version. I mean, you guys have to realize here, this is Pokemon we're talking about. This is one of, if not Nintendo's most popular franchise, and since it's going to be released right around the holidays, they are going to want that to be their big holiday seller game. Last year we had Smash, the year before we had Mario Odyssey, and this year it's Pokemon's turn, but the only way that this Pokemon game is going to sell a lot and exceed Nintendo's expectations is if it is this huge game with tons of content packed into it, and I think that's exactly what they are going for right now, and I think that's exactly what is going to happen. And finally guys, the last thing that I want to talk about is that apparently every single starter Pokemon, besides for the starter Pokemon in Generation 7, are going to be getting Mega Evolutions. This is awesome and I'm super excited about this because I have always wanted Typhlosion and Infernape and Torterra and Empoleon to get Mega Evolutions, and now that they finally are, I am extremely happy. Hopefully they look really cool, but considering Pokemon has a ton of really great designs, I have no doubt that these Pokemon are going to look awesome. So guys, overall, do I believe that this leak is real? As of now, I am not 100% sure, and I think that honestly, I'm leaning more towards it being real if this is actually coming from the person who leaked Incineroar, Decidueye, and Primarina, but at the same time, since we have no idea if this is actually that same person, I'm just going to say that this is definitely a possibility of it being real. However, guys, let me know what you thought about this leak in the comment section down below. Do you guys believe that this leak is real, and would you be happy if it was? Why or why not? Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, share, and like, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.